I was gonna say, what are you doing? Drinking the poison?
Cioppino.
Lemon peels. What's going?
Is it just me?
Hey everybody, welcome to Late Late Horror Show. I'm Dino as always, and that is Dave Plouffe. Also uses lemon peel when making. Say the word again, Dave.
Cioppino. It pronounce it as a J.
Cioppino.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, nice. Oh my God, did this episode make me want to eat and eat and eat, but I couldn't do that. But oh my God, all the good food in here, Dave.
So good.
Do you
Especially
like when they were parading in all the food at the banquet?
Oh. And
Everything.
playing This Old Man.
This old man. They did. They did. Lots of good, fun stuff to talk about on this one. We even get to see Mrs. Columbo, kind of, and Dave will talk a little bit about that. He's got some info. But hello, everybody. Let me say hi to everybody. And yes, I'm doing fine now. I mean, kind of fine, but I'll be okay. That's all I'll say. Don't want to dig too much into it. I mean, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. But life is tough. That's all I'll say. But hello, Black Roses. Good to see you. And thank you for all the love and responses and everything. I really do appreciate that. Horror Junkie for Life, what is going on? Lizzie, hello, Black Roses. Mr. Ed, Kelly Lorang, what is going on? Good to see you. JLR, Harry Scott, hi boy donuts to you. Dino Duck Apple Juice and all that good stuff. Brian Lance, Grimm, what's going on? He loves Columbo, by the way.
Awesome.
Mr. Ed, thank you. Appreciate it. Everybody who was sending love. Andrea Black, John Swan, I think I said him already. You can say it twice, whatever. Lizzie, there we go. Okay, Sally Skellington, good to see you. Hello. Yeah, let's just make this a fun show. I am doing better. I was on a pain level of 10 out of 10. Now it's about a 2 or 3, so I'm much better, but it is what it is. I hate being so vague. Listen, Dave, just 1 minute. I guess I said I wasn't going to even say anything, but I should at least let people know. Listen, there he goes. DPA? What's that? You checking some food?
No, it is the initials and then A for also.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Listen, it comes down to, I've had a rough life. A lot of stuff happened in my younger years. Still have anxiety, still deal with phobias and stuff like that. So ulcers, plain and simple. That's all I'll say. That's all it is. I'll be fine. I'm okay. Let's move on. Let's have some fun. Love y'all. Horror Junkie for Life. $5 super chat. Thank you. Happy February, everyone. Love you. Love you right back, Horror Junkie. Andrew, what's going on? Good to see you. William Bowers. Hope you are doing well. Been a while. Yeah. No, here we go. Dave, so where should we start, man? What's that? Chinatown?
We should start in Chinatown.
Well, let's listen. Paul Gerard, he's a food critic. Very interesting character, this one. This episode. This is a good episode. Really good episode. But Eve Plummer, the secretary of Paul Gerard, who again is a food critic, and that's what this is all going to revolve around. That's the wife of Columbo, Peter Falk.
Of Peter Falk, yeah. They're
his talk real about that a little bit there, Dave.
Sure. So
you read the book.
On our last episode, which we did when he was at Universal Studios and Jaws the Shark, and I can't remember the name of that episode now. It's with William Shatner.
Oh, you're asking the wrong person. I have no idea. Hey, Raj Ram, what's going on? Good to see you.
So we first see Shara Denise in this William Shatner episode, and by the time we get to season 7, they're married. Holy moly. I don't know how Peter Falk lucked out at such an absolutely beautiful and stunning wife.
So
And
beautiful. But evidently, I think it might have been because she was a little quackers.
I think the word I used was wackadoodle.
Wackadoodle is a good one too.
Yes.
There you go.
And she probably, yeah, I don't know what to say about her, but I'm glad I'm not married to her. Their nickname was the Fighting Falks.
Yes, I thought that was cool. You mentioned that, yeah.
And I remember one story when when Peter Falk wrote his book called Just One More Thing, which I suggest everyone read, because it's not like a autobiography like you would imagine chapter after chapter. It's literally paragraphs of his remembrances throughout his life, from the time going in to have the eye operation where they removed his eye when he was about 6 or 7 years old, to stories when he was in college, first acting, getting Columbo, Murder by Death, all those wonderful movies and TV shows that he's noted for. And he talks so lovingly about his wife. And one story was that he came home one.
I'm just waving at Kathy. Hey, Kathy.
You're like,
Dave's like, no, stop the show.
Ed was saying he couldn't hear through his phone, and I'm like, oh no, maybe we are mute.
No, we're good. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, and hello to Kathy as well. But his wife had taken all of Peter's Emmys, put them in her room, and displayed hats on them.
Wackadoodle, yeah.
Yes,
wackadoodle. But yeah, oh my God, such a beautiful woman. And I love that we're also going to have a couple restaurant owners. You know, it's all about food. And the one restaurant owner is Vittorio Rossi. Vittorio.
Yes.
This is what my son, his name should have been. I wanted to call him Vittorio, but you know, his mother said, nope, that's just too weird. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's an Italian name. She's like, no, I mean, what, Vittorio? I'm like, they call him Vito for short. Come on. What do you? So it's Aiden, but you know, it's still nice. But anyways, okay, go on. But yeah, no, Vittorio, he's one of the restaurant owners. I love Albert. You get a chef in here.
Albert is so funny. He reminds me of James Coco a little bit. He reminds me of Dom DeLuise, but it's just like, for some reason, he didn't get to that level, I guess.
No.
But he was, there's this great part where he's totally drunk in the restaurant. And he goes up to Louis Jordan, who's the murderer. And he goes, I wish it was you dead in there. I'm going to go home and finish getting drunk.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah. And we didn't even get to that yet. But yeah, when he says that, when he comes into the restaurant and Columbo's is just, he's eating away because the chef made him some food, you know. But they all seem to have that same look. The chef did. Also, Max Duval. They all have that kind of same kind of look to them, you know. And it was, and Mario, that's my middle name too. You know, Vittorio's cousin, who was a waiter, and once he died, the restaurant's going to him now. So that would have been nice. Yeah.
It would have been, only if he spoke English, though, because he didn't know. He only knew Italian. Had to call his mother to call the U.S. to call the police.
And when Peter Falk starts screaming Italian at him, I'm like going, "What is going on? This is kind of trippy."
Did you understand any of the words?
I did not.
Okay.
No.
I understood the last one. Call me. Call me.
He's screaming at Italian. The very last word he goes, call me. Call me. Calm down. Calm down. Anyways, yeah, it's so good. You know, another thing I found out in this, all the killers I noticed, they all come up with reasoning or ways that the person that was killed could have been killed. I think it's a dead giveaway through all these episodes for a detective like Columbo. I'm like going, well, you know what? In this episode in particular, I'm like, because Paul Gerard started to talk about, oh yeah, that's the perfect way to kill. He could have been killed. And I'm like going, every time they say that, he immediately is going to go to you and go, that's the one. He killed him. So there's always dead giveaways. You know what I mean? That's my point, Dave. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Or do you hear what I'm saying?
I do. I hope Mr. Ed does now.
Oh, really? Did he not understand or what I was saying?
Well, his voice, his phone was not picking up our
audio. Oh, no, that's terrible.
So as Connie says, restart, try it again.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's start, Dave. You can start us off. The whole episode's about blackmail, but go ahead. Where are we at?
It is about blackmail. This, I first want to say, is a light episode. This is an episode that you can watch again and
not
again.
On carbs.
Don't watch if you're on a diet.
It's not light on carbs, but I get what you're saying.
It's not. But it's really a fun episode. It's one that I always play in the background if I'm doing something and I can't really watch it, just because it's so enjoyable. We start off in Chinatown.
To all the food. Time to eat. Oh, I'm sorry.
We have three restaurateurs having lunch together, and they're basically talking about how tough it is to work with Paul Gerard.
Okay, hold on. R S T. Oh, I thought we were all doing the alphabet. Okay. I don't know what that was about.
I don't know either.
Okay, Dave.
That's what happens when you press the enter button too quickly.
Yeah. It's real. I love the opening though. I just love that they're all sitting down at a restaurant and having this secret. Go on, Dave.
Yeah. Well, and they are trying to keep everything secret. That early on they're paying blackmail money to Paul Gerard, who is a critic of extreme importance. And we have an Italian, we have a French guy, and we have an Asian person.
Yes, we do.
So we have the House of Choi, Shea
Duval,
and then Victorio's, which, by the way, closed on Mondays.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Every time we saw the front of Victorio's, it had a
close on Monday. I didn't notice that.
It must have been Monday when they shot this.
That was a pretty big Italian restaurant, though, too, man.
You can just imagine the smells from the kitchen wafting through. You can imagine the noise, the fun. It just was such a warm, wonderful restaurant.
It was. And again, we always talk about if we had tons of money, like that was one that was very inviting. And I could see myself living my days in like a kitchen like that and preparing it was really cool. I liked it.
And the kitchen was, well laid out. Peter Falk even made a comment about how nice the pans were.
Yeah.
Like, we got to use this equipment.
Well, we got to say too, that Peter Falk, Columbo, is a big fan of food and chefs and restaurants and all that kind of stuff. So he's a big fan. I mean, he was just being catered everywhere he went. These chefs were just bringing him food and stuff to eat. And I'm just like going, this is pleasurable. Yeah, this is nice.
We see all three restaurateurs watching a commercial. Oh no, I'm slowing down. Hold on.
Yeah, you are, but that's okay. Talk about the gourmet cheese episode. What? Was there a gourmet cheese episode? Mark Johnston. And what's going on here, Sweet Indigo? You feeling good? You doing good? Indigo is a shade of blue. It's a green from a poem I read. Never heard of it. It's an ancient Chinese pottery color. Interesting. Okay.
All right.
Okay, you good, Dave?
I should be back now. Sorry about that.
So much for somewhere out in space.
So much for the new internet.
Right. Yeah. No, I was going to say, could be weather. Who knows?
Well, it's about 80 degrees here too.
Oh, that'll do it. The heat will do it. No, Hey, J.O.B. Good to see you.
But we see Paul Gerard literally with a live shrimp in his hand, and he is dipping it in sauce and eating it. And it's like, you have to eat this with gusto. And then immediately he starts talking about the pufferfish, about fugu, about how you have to prepare it correctly. So this is not an episode where it's like there's a lot of mystery. Everything just kind of falls into place really, really easily.
Oh yeah. Again, it's a simple premise, blackmail, and I guess Paul Gerard, right off the bat here, is blackmailing Vittorio to like his restaurant, and he gets kind of like these donations, which goes to Restaurant Developers Association.
Yes, the RDA.
The, the RDA. Dave, have you invested in the RDA before?
Only in their savings account, not in their checking, because that's where all the money gets put.
Exactly.
But actually, it's not clear in the episode. You have to watch it again and again to realize all three are being blackmailed.
Oh yeah.
That's why they're hanging out together. That's why, the one Vittorio guy is like, "Hey, I'm leaving. I'm going to leave tonight. Tonight's the last day I'm giving him any money." So,
but they made it seem like he maybe it was because he was the only one that died and he wasn't cooperating, Vittorio, because he was the only one with the blank checks or the canceled checks for $100,000.
Yes, up to $100,000. 25% of his income was going back to Gerard.
So you think Max Duvall and Miss Choi, they were also had to give $100,000, or at least 25% of?
Yes.
Okay, so that account should have been. I don't think they stated how much money. Listen, I'm nitpicking here, but
no, but enough for Eve to go to Paris.
Yeah, they had it made, man. I'll tell you that much. But yes, the puffer fish. And what is the puffer fish? It's a poisonous fish.
It is, and it obviously we see it's an ugly fish too, right? It blows up. It's got all these spikes and everything. And it's got to be like, all the organs taken out perfectly in order for the poison not to get into the food.
I think they said that there's only so many people licensed to be able to do that because of the fact of the poison. Which triggered something in Dave's mind there.
I pulled the statistics of how many people actually are killed by fugu every year.
Go for it, Dave.
So in Japan, between the year 2000 and 2012, 23 people died from fugu poisoning.
Oh, I don't think I'd be eating fugu.
Not at all. Why do that? I mean, why not just have old milk?
Exactly.
It's cheaper. It's in the fridge. Take a risk with that instead.
What's the egg with a real bird in there that they last for like months? It's spoiled and it's rotten in it. Yeah, I know. We won't talk about it. That's safer to eat than what this is. Listen, the pufferfish is kind of an alien looking type of fish. Really cool in fish tanks. I like the pufferfish.
All right.
Yeah. I'm not going to touch it though. I don't want to get killed. Let's see. I mean, if you know the expenses of restaurants, that's either a lot of money or not a lot. Yeah, it depends on where you're going to eat. Yeah, it depends. $10. You guys, egg talk. Yeah, no, not that kind of egg. LOL. What the heck? What's going on with the eggs? Okay, so the pufferfish is poisonous, and the big commercial going on at the beginning and stuff, and that's when they're all sitting at the table saying it's not going to happen anymore. Sistoval.
Right.
Or Vittorio.
And of course, Vittorio is also, we know him as one of the people in Godfather 2.
Yes.
Who at the very end slits his wrists. He's the one in the tub. And so, he's, you're just so familiar with him as this rough, tough guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to cross him anyway, but Paul Gerard does. And he shows up to Vittorio's. No one else is here. He's let in by the nephew, Mario. Mario in real life is like the cousin of Alan Alda. So there is some similarities in looks between those two individuals. And unfortunately, Mario in real life dies really young. I think it is cirrhosis of the liver. Don't quote me. But it's one of those things.
Oh, that's sad now. I hate to hear that when you...
Yeah.
see someone on an episode. Anyways, yeah, cirrhosis of the liver. But yeah, no, it's quite the scene. It's almost like a Godfather scene, that dinner scene when he dies. You
Oh,
know?
it's terrific.
Yeah, it's like the mob comes in, gets him a hit, but it's not a gun, it's poison. You know, and he's saying, Mario, go get some wine. He's got that voice, you know. He's really
Again,
hypertension's got to be bad.
a great restaurant because Mario goes into another door and he's got a wine cellar, and it's the perfect wine cellar. It's everything's covered in dust. Oh, let me get one of these bottles here and make sure it's a Margot, because that's what Victorio suggested.
Yes, and it's funny how he runs down there too. It's like, I guess Vittorio's trying to teach him to take over the restaurant one day because he's his favorite cousin or something like that.
Yes,
and
he's training him to take over the restaurant, and
he's got to teach him English first.
He is success in America.
Yeah. But yeah, once well, man, how much information do we actually give here? They're sitting down for dinner. Paul Gerard comes in. You know, he sits down. The chef really doesn't like him. You know, all the meals prepared, set down on the table. And the one thing that's very interesting in this movie is the way they opened up the wine with the cork opener.
Yes.
They had little cartridges that I guess shot air in there, or carbon.
Yes, it's a CO2 cartridge.
Yeah.
They do sell them on Amazon.
Ooh.
And basically just you plug it in through the cork and, you know,
yeah,
little air pressure kicks it out. So
all these times I've been taking knives to it and screwdrivers and saws to get the cork out, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And all I needed to do was for $5.99 on Amazon. $7? Okay. Not bad. You know, a good place to get eggs, you guys, is your local neighbor farm, you know, or a neighbor. Just go out and like a city over close to me, there's a bunch of people that got eggs in there, and they put them in the front yard. They say, take them. Yeah, so you don't have to pay anything for eggs if you really wanted to look for them. Anyways, Dave. But yeah, so they get down, they sit. Evidently, there was some exchange. Got the wine. Vittorio opens the wine bottle. Oh,
yeah, but Gerard leaves first, because Gerard is like, you know, hey, you know, I'm sorry it has to end like this, and he's gonna get up and leave, and he's actually
because Vittorio's hollering at him, going, I'm not doing this and no more to you. You get out of here. You leave. You know, yeah, it was a bad scene, man.
Yeah. So as soon as Gerard is out the door, that's when Victorio opens up the bottle of wine, and he takes, I mean, he downs it, doesn't even smell the cork, man.
Oh,
I
no.
mean, this thing is just, you know, past the lips. And
yeah, Dave would have sat there and just smelled the cork a little while, poured it in a little. You got that little what is that, like a decanter for sipping? Decanter? Is it? No, not a decanter.
I think you need to watch one more Port in the Storm episode.
Maybe I do. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
But yeah, we have to decant it first, and then I mean, it's a treat to have good wine, especially wine that's been down in the cellar, and you know it's good Italian wine.
Was that in a Columbo episode that we did where they really got into the decanter and the wine? Yeah, it was. Okay, I thought so. There's a whole process.
First ones we did.
Yeah. Okay.
Donald Pleasance.
Yes, Donald Pleasance. That's it. But I tell you what. Okay, he gets angry when Paul shuffles off, and he starts going over to these drawers and stuff. And then there's a big. Did you see the strawberry like dessert?
No, I missed that.
Cake on the table, right?
Oh,
mean, where the drawers were. Looks so good. Oh my God. And then he started to croak, and he had a heart attack and he died.
Oh, this was one of the best death scenes in Columbo history. Where the guy, he should have won an Academy Award for this. I mean, it was flailing his arms, it was knocking stuff down, and
he's an actor.
The nephew Mario is like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?"
What do you do? What do you
And he's
do,
going,
Uncle? I died. I did this in The Godfather. You killed me. Yeah, no, that was really good. Dr. Loomis. Yeah, he played Dr. Loomis in the Halloween series. He played in a lot of other movies too, though. But yeah, no, it was a good scene. It was a good scene. He croaked, he died, and I liked the next scene. I like when it's the crime scene in Columbo's at the restaurant, right? Or did I skip something?
Yeah. And the next thing we know is Gerard is driving back into the parking lot, and the
Yeah.
coroner is there, and he's, medical examiner on the back of his, station wagon. And he walks in, and Sergeant Burke meets him, and he goes, "I'm Sergeant Burke. Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Paul Gerard." "Oh, one moment. I'll get the lieutenant."
Yes, yes. And Columbo is sitting at the table because the chef made him up a huge, nice dinner, and
Of Cioppino.
of Cioppino.
And Cioppino is stew, seafood stew, basically.
Mm.
And it is delicious. There's also a reference to it in a 90s, not so good, episode. So,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
but they're all Cioppino.
And Paul was, oh, I hear the birds.
It's
And
the parrots, Connie. It's the parrots.
what's the birds? I'd like one to fly in one day and take a swipe at you, Dave.
Hey, that's not too far from being true.
I'd like one to come in and take one of your pencils from that cup. That's the worst thing I could say to Dave. How
I'll tell
dare
you,
you?
it is when the parrots come through, especially when the fruit trees are starting to have ripe fruit. Like,
Yeah.
I've got apple trees. My neighbor's got a jujube tree.
Jujube tree.
Yeah, he's Asian, and jujube
They
is
grow
about
actual jujubes that you put in a box of they're
not
candy.
the one you get at the theater, but
Oh, okay.
jujubes. There's actually two varieties. There's Lee and there's Lang. They're about an inch and a quarter, and they look
Oh.
like elongated red grape, but they're quite good. They're delicious, and they are covered in fruit. And those parrots, man, it is like nightmare of how they will just attack and eat. And they piss me off too, because they won't eat like a whole apple or a whole, whatever. I'll take a little bite here, a little bite over here, and they ruin the entire crop that's on top of the tree.
Oh, how dare they nibble, go on to the next. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, those California parrots, it's a waste of of our farm crop.
Oh, look out. Lizzie's got a parrot too.
Hi, parrots from my Fifi parrot. Yeah, she's got one that's in a cage, and
I think her cat is named Coco. So it's Fifi, Coco.
Really? Okay. I got a mouse named Coco. Yeah.
Mr.
Okay. Dave's mug has auto refill. As soon as you remove one, another one appears. Yes.
Hey, I made it through my box of pens. I culled out a whole bunch of them, refilled everything. Everything's really good in the pen department right now.
You're all settled. I just think the bird coming in and taking one and flying off, I just wonder what you would do. Like, would you run after it?
If it did what?
If it actually flew in and took one of your pens or pencils,
oh hell yeah!
The window,
I would grab my golf clubs over there in the corner. I don't care what Connie would have thought of me. I would have.
Oh, that's too much.
That bird senseless. If that bird took off with a pencil, those are my pencils.
Dave's calling 911. It's got a lot of red on the front of its head. I know that much. Jeez.
Oh man.
Going north down on the 10. I don't know if that's a place or direct. I don't know. Okay, anyways, let's get back.
The 10 freeway's about 2 blocks from me.
Really? Okay. Well,
yeah.
Get that on the dot. Yeah. Okay, so Awesome scene. Again, the chef is standing there too, and tells him to go to hell. And I wish you were the one that was dead in the room. That was a
Yeah,
good comeback by him. And no, then they go in and look at the crime scene, Dave. Right?
they do. I'm trying to look at my notes over here, thinking.
Rest in peace. Brian, he just said that Cioppino
Yeah.
is a seafood stew
Yes.
type of thing. So
Yes.
that's kind of what that is.
It looks really good. I mean, it's chunks of fish.
Crab meat and fish.
Oh, it's good stuff.
What kind of sauce? Like a white sauce, I would think.
It's kind of like, you look into it and it is more of a clear. It's more of a almost like red wine vinegar. It looks like.
Really?
But yeah. But
sweet.
Now that we're thinking about Cioppino, my favorite is actually Seinfeld reference, paella. I love paella.
Paella, that's a fruit though, right? No.
No. Paella is also a fish dish.
Oh, that's right. George and Estelle Costanza was making this for the Seinfelds when they didn't come over to visit.
That's it.
What am I going to do with all this papaya? Okay,
and it's with rice and saffron and all that, and it is just
sounds good.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I need to check out some restaurants. Anyways, Dave could consolidate his pens. Remember that pen that had 4 colors in one? Yes. Well, no, he'd have a bunch of those. I'm sure there's one in there.
I've got at least 2 or 3.
Yeah, no, he has to.
Those are amazing.
Yeah. Everybody with the green marks, you guys have a B. No, go ahead. Do you color code or do you even do that?
I don't, because I'm colorblind.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But I do when I do.
Well, if I send you a moldy piece of bread,
look, everything
you won't know.
Post-COVID is done online.
Yeah.
So there's not even any marking on paper anymore.
Well, that's what I thought.
Prior, though, I would actually, when I would grade a paper, I would actually put a secret mark on the paper, because you would have students coming in going, hey, dude, you gave me an 85 on this paper and it's listing a 65 on your, grade book. And I would look and I'm like, you just forged that paper. You forged that number. You forged my corrections because it doesn't have the secret mark on it.
Oh, look at you. Way to go. Yeah, Dave, man. Okay, yeah, let's get through this. We're taking our good old time BSing.
We are, but that's what we're here to do on Sunday.
Exactly.
It's a nice break from the week, and it's so much nicer than Malachi Martin last week when we're talking about Perfectly Possessed and all that, which, by the way, thank you all for watching. It was like over 1,300 people watched that, so thank you. Yes,
a little funner this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the cross-examination, we kind of know already that Peter Falk knows exactly who the killer is, because we find out that, like, hey, if you were told that you had poisoned food, you would go to the hospital. But no, he comes back to the restaurant to be examined by, cross-examined by Peter Falk. And they have a somewhat fun conversation about food, because Peter Falk is a fan of this guy. And then also jumping across to, like, what happened while you were here? Why did you have an argument? Things like that. And there's this great little section at the end where Paul Gerard gets in his car to drive away. And Peter Falk says, nope, I can't let you get away with it. And he's all like, what? And he's all, the recipe. You told me you were going to give me a recipe.
Yeah. So, well, what I thought was funny, and Sally says, my dad was colorblind. He made a sandwich with moldy bread. See, so I was telling the truth. If it's green, you can't tell if you're colorblind.
Oh, I have an embarrassing story too.
Oh, gee. Well, go ahead, and then I'll get to what I was going to say. Might as well.
I used old sugar. I couldn't tell that the sugar crystals had changed color. And I used it in something and it didn't come out right. And I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, that sugar looks a little darker. And sure enough, I had used expired sugar.
Really?
Yeah.
So what color would it have turned?
It turns to it like a tan color.
Really? Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Now I'm
Yeah.
a little icky.
Oh, Dave. Yeah. Sugar needs to be eaten real quick, but well, not by me, but but what I think what was funny though is and we're going to the end of this show right here for a second, but because Paul Gerard asks him at the end, and we always know who the killer is, it's Paul Gerard. He's the killer. um, when did you know? And that's when Columbo says, I knew right away, because the minute you came back to the restaurant and just started talking, it took him 8 minutes to get to the restaurant. When he heard about the death, he came to the restaurant. Columbo's like, you didn't go to the hospital. You weren't worried. You didn't want to at least get your stomach pumped. You could have died too, but you were all calm and collective and came right to the restaurant to answer some questions. And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What an idiot. That's probably one of the dumber things. Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, and then he finds a notepad with circled Choi and Duval, their names, right above his, to where I guess they were meeting up the next day or something like that, or
I guess.
Yeah, something like that. So it brings those two characters in on what's going on, so you can kind of throw them in the mix. And that's when he found the canceled checks and all that good stuff. So yeah.
We should go to Shea Duvall next.
We can go to Shea Duvall.
All right.
Shelley Duvall's house.
Is that Galantine of Duck? Oh, it's my Galantine of Duck.
Everywhere he goes, you're introduced to like either a new chef or a new dish or dinner being served. It's like, man, he had a good week. That's for sure.
Absolutely. You could almost see the button being unbuttoned on his pants. So, to give him a little bit more room to put food in.
Oh, I can't even think of food right now, but it's been killing me too. I've been starving. So we're at Shelley Duvall's house, Shea Duvall. And so yeah, he's sitting down there talking to Paul Gerard. Do you know that I think the kitchen in his house here, in this house, this scene, is the same kitchen from Jerry Lewis's Cinderfella?
Wow.
I mean, I'm 100%. Well, I'm 99% sure, because he stands in there in Cinderfella and he's singing and he does this whole routine, and everything looked exactly like that scene. And I'm like, that's the same kitchen.
It may well be.
Cinderfella is such a good. Jerry Lewis, everybody thinks of him from like the 40s or 50s with Dean Martin. When he went out on his own, Dave, he made I know I'm talking to somebody who probably hates him, but I love Independent Jerry, Independent George. I love Independent Jerry Lewis. I love when he went off and he did all his own. I love the other stuff too, but man, there's nothing like Nutty Professor. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I did like the Nutty Professor. Did you see him in What's My Line as one of the contestants?
I don't think I did see it.
One of the panel. It is so. I will admit this. It's really funny. He's kind of arrogant in it.
Yeah.
And then he just he makes like a crack at the contestant, and it happens to be like really true. And he gets all surprised. It's really funny to see his reaction. So I will send that to you later.
No, yeah, please do. Thank you. I would love to see that. There's so many things that you get caught up in watching on YouTube and stuff like that, like the old shows and your stars you like and so that there's so much stuff out there. It's just great. We should also say that his secretary Eve,
yes,
she's in on something that she don't know she's in on. Like he tells her at the beginning. Did you mention that about going to the bank? He tells her, listen, go to the bank and take care of that stuff I told you to take care of.
And she has to go under an assumed name. It's not Eve. It's Mrs. DeMilo.
Oh, yes. There you go. Yes, DeMilo, Mrs. DeMilo. Ooh, that's a sexy name, Dave,
It
for
is, especially for
Eve.
her.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. So, um, so Paul comes home and talks to Eve, and after this, and he kind of says, "Listen, I want you out of the picture. I don't want you giving nothing away. I want you out. I want you going to Paris. I'll meet you there in a month," he says.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine that being in that kind of relationship where it's like, you go to Paris, I'll meet you there.
Yeah. Well, she also asked him a little earlier, "Is this Paul? Is this an affair?" And he's just like, I'm like, "Listen, go. I don't. They say whatever you need to say, man. Because even Paul, I don't. She's way out of his league. I don't know." But Paul had this weird, almost like lines a lot, like he was almost like a clown. I don't. Did you notice the lines across his mouth, like he was a Joker?
Maybe you've got a really old TV.
He's like, no, it's 4K.
Okay. Well, maybe he got hurt in that James Bond film.
Oh, could have. Maybe the line cut. Yeah. Anyways, okay.
Shooting across his face.
The Big Mouth. Yes, Jerry Lewis. There's so many good Jerry Lewis movies. Everybody, throw out your favorite Jerry Lewis movie in the chat while we talk about Columbo. I want to know, man, when she's sitting on the couch, Dave, Eve, and Paul's talking to her, telling her to go to Paris. I would convince her, Dave.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I would. There's never mind.
I know. Let's move on. Okay, so Columbo. He's recreating the crime scene.
Well, we're at Chez Duval's, and we go out to the patio.
I'm jumping the gun again.
Yeah. Paul Gerard is sitting out there, and he's being served, everything.
It's not that hard to jump the gun. It's just like a little hop.
Is that kind of like pushing the envelope and it still remains stationary?
Yes, exactly like that.
Right.
Good one, Dave. Good comeback.
All right.
Okay.
And we have this beautiful scene of Los Angeles.
All right, I can't highlight that, Connie. Yeah, not a fan of Jerry Lewis. Yeah, sorry. Don't anybody respond to that remark, please. Anyways, I'm joking.
I already have.
Don't like it either.
Yeah, but they're talking about hey, we found out that the poison is in the wine, so you're off my list of suspects.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy moly, I didn't even know I was on your list of suspects.
Yeah. Bellboy. Yep. Mighty Professor. Abbott and Costello are the goats. What? We jumped to Abbott and Costello now. What the heck, Mark?
What are we doing here?
They are the goats, but yeah, listen, I don't know. This is strange. It's not like I've taken anything. I'm as pure as I'm almost detoxing and cleansing. I mean, I can't eat nothing, but ginger ale. Suave Buddy Love versus Professor Julius Kelp. Interesting. Okay, Dave. Shut up. Go on. Tell us all about this episode.
Thanks. So after their little luncheon together, the guy hands him I think it was caviar, hands him some smoked salmon and everything. And then he goes, "Oh, Mrs. Columbo asked me to pick her up something for dinner."
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's going to do a little drive-through, get him a little Tommy's chili burger or something for her.
Oh, man.
And it does, because Columbo earlier on was all like, "I'm the cook in the family." He goes, "Mrs. Columbo, she's great, but there's some things she doesn't do. And one of them is cooking." He goes, "She's talented in other areas, just not meal prep."
I bet that was a real lifeline there. I bet he was saying, yeah, she makes me order out all the time.
She,
Eva.
well, I'm sorry. Right after they finish their lunch, they go shopping together. Paul Gerard, Columbo, walking down this farmer's market, basically, and there's a grocer behind him. And that grocer is Michael Lally. Again, one of the, he's in 25 episodes of Columbo as, one of the utility players. And this time he's a grocer. And Columbo's picking up a mango. "Is this ripe? Do you think this is ripe?" And Paul Gerard's like, "Yes, it's ripe." And they put it in the bag. And they keep on
throws it in like this. Just tosses it.
Yeah. And then they end up with Columbo says, I have questions, I write them on cards, and I put them on my shaving mirror. And my question to you is, do I need a shaving mirror? Is there one just for shaving? Can't I use the bathroom mirror?
Well, yeah. Listen, this was 78. So old school, there's some old school people I'm sure that still use that shaving mirror. You know what I mean? Because, you can get up close if you're using the straight razor. I think that's what it was made. Well, you can use the bathroom mirror for that.
I would imagine.
Bathroom mirrors have been around for ages, Dave. Yeah, since forever.
I imagine this little kind of like round, like, how your grandmother would have a special mirror for her makeup.
Yeah.
I imagine it's very similar for a shaving mirror.
Oh, yeah. No. I think there were even ones that they would hold. Like you can just hold a mirror up like that. Yeah. Back in the Western days, they had them like that. But that's really going way back.
I think Clint doing that.
Okay. So, again, I mentioned he finds the checks. They do the recreation of the crime scene and all that. And that's also where he finds out about the cork, the wine opener, the getting the cork out, the cartridge, changes it. He figures, oh, okay, this is interesting. You could change that. And he finds the canceled checks, and then just recreating the crime scene and all that there. And that leads to the checks, which leads to the funeral, which is next. Right, Dave? Unless there's something else you want to interject.
There is only one quote I wrote down, and we stopped by and see Eve real quick. And Paul Gerard says, quote, "I have been a fool." And she goes, "Really? How long have you been a fool?"
Oh.
And then that's when he says, "Pack your bags. You're going to Europe. Go, go, go." But yes, then we're at the funeral. The oddest funeral I've ever seen in my life.
Well, the chef's saying a lot of good things about, Vittorio.
No, but did you see Mario? Mario standing there, not moving, eyes bugging out.
Mario was not the best actor. I mean, he only spoke Italian, but on top of it, he wasn't that good of an actor. He actually looked like somebody straight out of a Giallo movie. So, I mean, maybe who was a pure Italian that just spoke Italian.
We also had one guy who could have been an Elvis imitator.
Uh-huh.
We had...
Really? Who was the a little delayed reaction?
He was a little guy, but he had like Elvis hair and the dark sunglasses. He looked like...
at the funeral?
Yeah, he looked like part of the Memphis Mafia. It was great.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Columbo comes there and pulls out the check.
Yes.
And he says to pass it down. He goes, pass this, however they didn't really, but he passes down the check. So they're going, so he's looking to see if he gets a reaction from anybody when they see the check, because it's a canceled check with that Restaurant Developers Association.
Yes.
And of course, Duvall and Miss Choi end up, going, Duvall leaves.
Oh, yeah. It upset him a lot. His eyes got real big. He's all like, oh, my God, I'm hungry. I got to go.
Yeah. He's hungry. Got to make a snack. Got a chef. Can you imagine owning a restaurant? Oh, go ahead.
I think the Duvall guy is actually one of the people in The Thing.
Yes, you are correct.
Okay. All right.
Yes, he was also in The Thing, not the black and white Thing from Another World, the Thing from 1982.
Yes.
But Miss Choi, she sticks around. But not only does she stick around, she tears up the check in a bunch of little pieces and throws it on the ground.
She does. I think she got frustrated because she was trying to make origami. And she's like, damn it, I can't make a swan or a crane or whatever you do.
So she just ripped it up and threw it down on the ground.
But I would, I've never been to that cemetery, but I would absolutely love to go because it is in several Columbo episodes. There's at least 3 times where we're standing at that cemetery. So it's a very...
You need to find the location and we'll put it up on here. You can say a few words.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 And then
He picks up all the pieces and he calls her a slob. He says, "How dare you?"
I'm going to give you a ticket for littering.
Yeah.
But one thing too, it's funny because like during the whole time, Columbo's just watching everyone, and Albert, who's giving like the eulogy, is going, the person here who's going to be responsible for finding the killer is Columbo. And he's all, oh. And then Albert says, while you're on this case, you'll never go hungry.
That's what he said. Yeah, I thought that was funny. And then he's at Miss Choi's. He's getting fed dinner there, and they're getting ready to talk. No, what's going on?
No,
does it bother you?
No, what bothers me, and this is something that I feel like Dino during this time, is that I love the restaurant. Oh, dim sum. Just great food. The editing of this section is so horrible, and again, it's something that after you watch it a few times, you'll go ugh, because like she's pouring him tea, right? Okay. But then the camera angle will show you at her back, and the tea thing is way over on the side. And then it'll show back to her, and she's got like, it's
everything's out of order. Things are misplaced.
Right. So
they must have had a good time sitting there talking and between takes.
Like sometimes she's holding the teacup, and then when they flip around, it's the teacups on the ground. It's just continuity. That's the word I'm looking for.
And the plant behind her, I think, turns from green to like dead brown.
I wouldn't know because I'm colorblind. If you want to rewind about 20 minutes, we already discussed this.
What colors can't you see?
Red.
That's it.
I'm red, green colorblind. I can't tell the difference between pink and blue as well, which is really embarrassing when you go up to a baby and go, what a cute baby boy. That's pink. It's a girl. Very embarrassing.
Your landscape, your plants.
Couldn't tell you.
So what do the leaves look like?
They're green. But like if I had an azalea, let's say, in full red bloom, I couldn't tell it was in bloom unless I actually went and looked at the lines of the flowers.
Because it looks green?
Just all the same color.
Wow,
in fact, weird. It is so bad I cannot drive in the fog.
No way.
Because I can't tell the different colors on the stoplights.
And you've had this your whole life?
As far as I know.
So yeah, so you're used to it.
I was really young as a kid, so I don't remember. But yeah.
You don't know any different, is my point.
No, exactly. I am interested. You have sometimes those YouTube videos where the people get the corrective glasses of like how the world really sees, and they can correct your color blindness, but they run like between $300 and $400 each. And I'm like, I'm dying to try it, but it's just
Dave.
It's a little too expensive.
No, I want to get you those glasses. I'm talking to you after the air.
All right. Give me a super.
Come on, you need to see color. Don't you want to see it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, let's continue.
Connie, watch your mouth.
Damn, Dave. I could go. Okay, anyways, where are we at? Jeez,
this has been Get to Know Dave Hour on the Late Late Horror Show.
Yeah, jeez, my gosh. He wouldn't. So you couldn't tell if you have a mole or anything like that. You need to see the dermatologist once.
I go every year. Thank you very much.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Okay.
Good looking dermatologist.
Okay, so are we at Paul's house yet?
I was hoping we were at the end, but
the geisha or the geishas, man, cracked me up.
Oh, before we get to that, we do have a clue where he's leaving. She gets a fortune cookie.
Oh, yeah,
because you can't be more stereotypical. He opens it up and he said, "It's cheer up. There is more than one fish in the sea."
Yeah, that was funny.
And then we're at Gerard's house. So yes, that's good to know.
Come on, Dave, $400. Come on, Dave, you have four. I know, right? Yeah, no, I'm going to take up a fund for Dave. He's going to see color real soon. I mean, I think that would be on top of your list.
As my friends say, aren't you an art teacher? And I comment back that I never said I was a good art teacher.
Oh man. Oh. Okay, so then so that was to get
this. Go ahead.
no, and he got to know a little information about Duvall and Choi and about that business and what was going on. So he picked their brain on all of that. And then he goes back to Paul's house where he's having this huge, like, Japanese style dinner.
Yeah.
And he flew over some, like, rich Japanese guy, and he's got 2 geisha girls with him. What's that?
His name was Mako.
Mako was his name.
That's his professional name.
Mako was his name. Oh,
yes.
And
he was in all the wonderful World War II movies. Again, stereotypical, like Tora, Tora, Tora. He's the guy on top of the battleship, right? That gets exploded. He's in Midway. He's in all these great 1940s reflections of World War II.
Yeah.
He was also in an episode of Frasier where he is in season 1. He asks the 2 brothers to write a book about sibling rivalry.
Yes. And he's a face you would know if you've seen him. He was in so many like TV things and stuff like that. Yeah, wasn't he in the movie we watched, Death
Murder by Death?
Murder by Death. Wasn't he number 2 son?
No.
Oh, he looks like number 2 son. Just a little bit older. No, maybe not. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, let's go. Let's move, Dave, past that. Okay, so we're at the dinner, and boy, Eve Plummer in a geisha outfit.
Oh,
we got to stop this, Dave.
Sign me up.
Oh my God. Let's turn the. Okay, see you guys. Everybody. Yeah. No, and then there's 2 geisha girls in full getup with the white makeup and.
The only bad thing about that was the music that they were playing. I thought the music was horrible.
Yeah, it was a little.
But the instruments, they were weird. Cool, and they were full get up and wearing the kimonos and all of that. So I love the house that Paul Gerard lives in, where he has the sliding doors to the living room and everything like that.
It was almost like going into a Japanese what would you call the you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Okay, we'll move on. But this is where he kind of finds out about the poison because he's looking down at what they're eating, Paul Gerard, and he's looking and he's going, "Ooh, okay, I got puffer fish laid out here." And he started beating around the bush. It's this, it's that, this and that, until Mako. And I love that Peter Falk's sitting right next to the geisha girl, and she's like acting all shy and going, covering up her face. And look at the entire scene as he's walking out, as he's getting up. It's funny. It's funny.
Yes, even it was kind of a little disturbing when he's leaving, and he's because he's wearing the trench coat, right? And he looks back at her, and she again hides her face and everything, and it's really quite fun and entertaining. But also
trying to get a close-up of Eve Plummer and her geisha outfit.
Oh yeah that's the screensaver.
Yeah, snapped a picture of that.
Yeah.
I'm just watching it here as we're talking about it. Oh, you silly girl.
She asks him about, and this is one thing too, that the guys from the Columbo Confab brought up, is that when you've traveled halfway around the world to come to America and they give you sushi. And he goes, that's like us traveling to Japan and getting barbecue. We don't want barbecue. And so Eve Plummer even says, we should feed you hot dog and grits.
Right. Yeah. No, something you would never get.
Right.
Oh boy, do you 2 need bibs, though? Oh man, dyslexic glasses. What the heck is going on there? Isn't Columbo popular in Japan? Listen, I don't know. Probably.
I don't know if it's popular in Japan. It is popular in Russia.
Really?
I had a Russian student who helped learn English by watching Columbo.
And that is like popular over there, Dave.
It's incredibly popular. And even Peter Falk, again, in his book, well, just one more thing, he talks about traveling in South America. People coming up to him, Mr. Columbo, Mr. Columbo. Crazy.
Well, listen, they love American programs. They do. Johnny Dollar fan as well. Well, there you go. It's the place to be for Johnny Dollar episodes, streams.
As long as it's Bob Bailey.
No, listen, John Lund did some very good Johnny Dollar shows.
All right.
Well, listen, whatever. Listen, we know it's all Bob Bailey. It's all about Bob Bailey. Blah, 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 blah. I did let George do it too.
Let George do it. That's right.
Which is, it's a good. Listen, there's some really good let George. Listen, we got to get through this. So he finds out about the pufferfish from Mako. He says, this he fool you. This he says this is a pufferfish, and the poison is there, and that's all. What is wrong with you? That's what he said.
You're Japanese.
So it's really. Mute yourself a second. But that's how he finds out about the poison from the pufferfish, and Mako kind of blows it for him.
Oh, he does. But I love when he's on the plane.
Oh,
he's like,
man.
Oh, you're a detective. You're in the army? No, I'm a policeman. Oh, I watched Murder Mystery. Brilliant. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, man. John Wayne. God. They say he was a bad man. What the? Mark, you were just throwing out some, like, let's change the subject kind of stuff. The next scene is even funnier, though. But he leaves. He gets up. The geisha girl looks at him.
Yes. Then we're going to the bank.
She giggles.
Yes.
In her cute little geisha way. And, goes to the bank and asks about these checks in this account. Bye. But I thought what was funny is the bank guy kind of brings out some coffee cake that him and Victorio would always have. I think
I am dying for coffee cake.
Oh my God, me too.
That looks so good. And
you know any good online services that you can ship one over to me for?
There's a place in Indiana, but I'm just saying.
Really?
Yeah. But oh my gosh. And that coffee cake, they were just like, even the secretary was like, can I have a slice of that coffee cake?
Well, I thought it was interesting that, it was funny when Columbo actually cuts the secretary because she says, oh, that's good. And he cuts her a piece and gives it to her and she starts eating it. And they're all three like kind of in this comedic way eating coffee cake while he's getting the information.
And you would think there would be crumbs everywhere. Because when I think of coffee cake, I think of crumbs and cinnamon and stuff like that all over the paperwork. So,
but no, there's a bakery close to here. I'm going to have to go check out and see if they got coffee cake.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
But I'm going to have to just have a little bit each day.
We should do a taste test of coffee cake for next Halloween.
Oh, nice.
Because I cannot do another sour alien thing.
Listen, that Halloween show was fun. Anyway.
It was fire. I'll tell you that. It was good.
So that was funny. No crumbs, no nothing. Yeah, but they were all eating and they're all like shuffling around. Kind of like the Marx Brothers or Three Stooges.
Yes.
And
it was, again, kind of one of those 1970s banks. It's got the tall ceilings. That's really like a 2-story building. It's got all the desks. There's like no computers. It's all paper. It was just really one of those wonderful warm things. So
I take, yes, coffee cake is Um, Connie would rather make her own coffee cake. There you go, Connie. Yeah. Wait, what's that? I thought this episode of Columbo was unusual compared to other episodes. It had a different feel because of all the chef stuff and food. Yeah.
It is, and it's toward the very, very end. I mean, I think this is maybe 4 episodes to the end of the show.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. And then it picks back up in the 90s or
In 88. So you've
Okay.
got about a 12-year gap.
Okay.
Which
And
we
now
should
we're
get Conspirators pretty soon. That is the last episode.
okay. Okay. Sounds good.
And
Yeah,
I like
yeah, we need to figure out the coming months here. Yeah.
we do. We do.
We're way behind.
Yeah.
Not really, but for Dave, we're way behind. He's usually like half of the year through.
I know. I'm like,
Come next July, I think we should talk about this.
like I'm a quarterly person. I need 3 months ahead of me. Let's discuss this.
That's banquet.
We're gonna get to the banquet, but first we're back at Paul Gerard's place. Eve is there, and she's flirting with Columbo. Here's my passport. Do I look like this? And they're just like, chatting back and forth. And he's all, that picture doesn't do you justice.
Mm-mm.
And then she gets up and he's all, oh, by the way, Mr. Milo. And she's all, yes, Lieutenant. And then she's all,
oops,
shit.
Does that mean I don't get this trip? Yeah.
Yeah. So she goes, guess I'm not going to Europe.
Oh,
And
no.
he's all, let's talk about laundering money. And then the next thing is, they're getting ready to go to the banquet.
Connie's coffee cake probably has a little kick to it. I suspect.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny. That's funny. A lot of guests at Connie's. Yeah. Send out tickets, Connie. Yeah, so he gives that away there. Yeah, then we're at the banquet, right? Yeah, that's
yeah, well, we're headed to the banquet.
Dave, top of the hour. Tell us what's coming up.
We're too close to the end.
You don't want to do it? Let me
We'll
see.
do it in 20 minutes.
Okay. Thumbs up.
Yeah, because I don't want to do it now and then 20 minutes later.
47 thumbs up. Listen, I know this has been a shit show. I've said this before. No, I think this has been fun. Yeah.
It has been fun. How many people do we have watching? Is it like 10?
No.
4.
Yeah, we're fine.
All right. Well, we will get to whatchamacallit.
Listen, I come to the point, I don't think people know that they got to hit that button down there that's got a hand like this. I mean, yeah, I know that half of the people in here haven't hit that thumbs up button. But anyways, let's move on. We're at the banquet and the parade of food starts.
This old man, he played 3. He played knick-knack on mighty. And they're just bringing in food. And they're showing, was there one dish that you particularly liked?
Well, I like the giant lobster that they brung out there. I mean, it was a big lobster with a lot of meat in the back.
That was my favorite, too, because they've got the lobster perched like it's a freaking ski slope.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The entire back of it is lobster meat. And it's like the monsters, it could have been Godzilla versus the lobster. That's how big this lobster was.
Man, stuff some
They
ravioli
had a roasted pig.
Yeah, bring that right to the table, like
right to your table.
And then they showed people with drumsticks of meat. Like, well, this is primetime television. This is not some kind of weird SAMR YouTube channel, but man, they all were going, oh no.
It was, and they also had a person brought in, like, I guess it was like champagne glasses, but it looked like there was like candy in it or Jello in it or something like that.
Well, it was a bunch of fruit for sure. Blueberries, strawberries, and
that was it. That was it. And then they made a fish out of Jello, or I guess it would have been aspic back then because that gelatin. It looked like a trout, but then they would carve it up and oh.
Are you talking about the white?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was like lined with maybe like a soy sauce or something like that, or chocolate. I'm thinking chocolate, but it's probably not. Yeah, something like that. There's 1,000 of us, Dave. Back then, Shatner was trying to have relations with every leading lady. He still is. Anyways, isn't he 99? Yeah.
He's pretty close.
Yeah, he's getting there. But yeah, there's a speech because Paul goes up there and he says, "Well, I kept this a secret, but the award is going to Victorio as the best restaurant of the year." Am I wrong, Dave?
That's perfect.
Okay,
He's all, that's why we didn't have it at Victorio's. We wanted to have it here, which was, part of my excuse for why Victorio was mad at me.
Yeah.
And he goes, we're going to give it to Victorio posthumously. So Mario, please come up, give a speech. Stupid, because Mario doesn't speak English. And then he says, hey, Columbo, can you come up? And Columbo comes up, gives a great speech.
Spot.
I
read you the alphabet. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Find the murderer in 48 hours or 24 hours. I'll have the murderer.
Yeah, he says, by this time tomorrow,
that was it.
I will have the murderer.
And I was also going to ask you, have you ever been, excuse me, to a black tie affair like that?
Just weddings in the past, but
okay.
That's as close to, it's not like I've been invited to a premiere or some kind of event but it's always just been weddings, but close enough.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been to one.
Yeah.
That dealt with a museum, and it was really, I felt very out of my element.
Yeah. No, my brother's head of security for the Cleveland Art Museum.
Oh.
And he there's quite often big banquets like that, big donors coming in, bringing in for the, so yeah, very, very cool. If you haven't checked out the Cleveland Art Museum, man, and their botanical garden, that's kind of connected there. Not to mention all of the museum, they're all kind of connected in this circle. You spend like days there, Dave, just checking everything out. Oh my God. They preserved Victorian era rooms and stuff like that. And then there's a huge night room, and it's just one of the greatest things in the country, actually. If you look it up, Cleveland Art Museum's up there as one of the best.
I have heard of it before, yes.
Yes.
But now I even want to go to Cleveland even more.
Oh, it wouldn't disappoint, just if you're an art lover, just for that, to make a trip just for the Cleveland Art Museum. It's just, and the botanical garden, which is kind of connected.
I want to go because there's actually an ice cream shop down by the water somewhere.
Yeah.
That I was told is just the best ice cream ever. So
I'd have to think about which one, because there's a few.
Okay.
But
I've seen a picture of it's like in a shack type of thing. It's not like a big commercial building.
Yeah, it used to be a park. Custard. Anyways, let's finish this out.
Columbo.
Yeah, let's finish this out.
During the banquet, Mrs. Columbo comes in, Shara Denise, Eve. She sits next to Paul Gerard, and Paul Gerard's like, what are you doing here? And she's all, oh, I'm not going to Europe. I'm breaking up with you. I quit. And she's all dressed again beautifully. I mean, beautiful dress, hair's all done. So,
yeah. I just put that up there because Sally asked, "Oh, cool." No. Who asked? Or Mark says, "Brian, enlighten me on Jack." Jack Cassidy was. I do agree, from what I've seen, probably the best villain. Did 3 episodes, or
did we do the one with him shooting the writer?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so we've done all 3 episodes of Jack Cassidy.
Yes. Very, very good actor. Yes.
Yeah.
Good villain. Anyways.
So game's getting over. Mrs. Columbo, she leaves. Mr. Columbo sits down and he goes, hey, Paul, why don't we go to Victorio's tomorrow? We'll do some cooking together. It'll be fantastic.
Yes.
Cut scene. We're at Victorio's the next day. Had I been Paul Gerard, I would have left town. But
yeah, well, they showed Paul Gerard setting up his needle and of the poison from the pufferfish. So he's getting ready to kill, Columbo.
He's going to kill Columbo. No one else does this. No one says like, hey, I've got a gun. I mean, they'll shoot Jessica Fletcher.
Yeah.
They'll kidnap her. No one touches my Columbo.
No.
And in this case, he's going to poison him. So
Columbo's preparing his, what is he preparing his?
Scallopini.
Scallopini, yeah.
He's doing
veal scallopina.
Yeah, he's cutting up shallots, and Columbo is, arms are, his sleeves are rolled up. He's wearing a chef hat. He's just like really into it. He's all talking about how he's using white pepper because it looks better than black pepper does. And then he puts in some butter into the pan. And I thought of you because then Paul Gerard rushes over, throws in some olive oil. He goes, olive oil will prevent the butter from burning.
If you put the olive oil in first, it will prevent the butter from burning. Yes. Again, olive oil, very good for you. If you're healthy and eating healthy. I mean, you can't down a cake and in a tablespoon of olive oil. Oh, that's healthy for me. I'm gonna down a cake and maybe some pizza. Let's stay healthy and let's have that olive oil. You know what? Taking a tablespoon of olive oil a day for, it's been maybe 4 months now or something like that. You really acquire the taste of olive oil, and then you start tasting the difference between olive oils, and there is a acquired taste to it, Dave. There really is. This is coming from somebody who loves sugar and sweets of all sorts, but there is kind of it took a little bit, like a couple weeks, and then I'm like going, okay, you get some of them, you get like a peppery kind of taste in the back. Others you can get kind of like a cocoa flavor. It depends, what region it's from. Anyways, boring people. Okay, so Dave, are you even here?
I'm here.
Dave puts a picture up of himself and walks away. There we go.
I'm just sitting here watching, going, okay, we're gone olive oil talk now.
I know. Listen, we've gone everywhere, every which way this week. But anyways, so he's cooking up, and Peter Falk's got his shirt rolled up. He's got his buttons buttoned down, all the black hair that Eve probably really. She go, I love you. Me putting my fingers through your hair. Oh, it's so good.
I mean, Darren McGavin would look clean shaven compared to Peter Falk.
Oh my gosh. Well, Columbo was, it was black, Darren McGavin, I think, would be more like, didn't he have was a little gray and blondish, or I don't even remember. Listen, anyways, let's not talk about men's chest. Anyways, hello, OHAM. Electricity just came on due to a rain and thunderstorm. Oh, that's good to hear.
Oh, no. And that happened to me on, I think it was Monday this week. We had a storm pass through, and we lost power from about 3 a.m. to around 11 a.m.
Ah, that's awful.
And you can't luckily I had to go to school, but you got to get up in it's dark,
Good thing you're in California where the temperature is always nice.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yes. So
all you needed to really do was light a candle.
Actually, I brought in my solar lights from the garden.
Did you really? Nice. Well, listen, that works.
Just popped up the tops of them, put them around like candles. It was fantastic.
Dave put them in all his coffee cups that he had laying around with pens in them. Just had to take the pens out because there's not just that one behind him. I sense that there's a few other ones in other locations.
One day we'll do a 360 here.
We might not want to see that, or do we? Anyways, okay. So this last dinner is for Columbo to prove that he's going to poison him, and to solve the crime.
Yes. So we see Paul Gerard put the plunger into the wine.
Plunger? What's that?
Whatever it is. You put it in.
Hey, we need to open up the bottle of wine. Bring the plunger on. Yeah.
Right, now I
work
can't.
On the toilet. It should be able to get a cork out. Jiminy Christmas.
Oh, gosh. So...
You get NPR on that radio back there, Dave?
Oh.
What's that, 1940? What is that, Philco? What is that, a Philco?
That's not. I mean, that's the repro. This is the. Hold on.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah,
That's
what
the
you
old one up there.
Yeah, that's the old one.
That's the Zenith Overseas shortwave. Listen to Art Bell. It's actually got a warm. The tubes have to actually warm up before it works. I mean, that's what's really cool.
Oh yeah, you can hear the hum.
Yeah. And by the way, the map next to it, that is an authentic map from the 1700s.
Wow, and there's a
that I just picked up.
There's a 20 black fan up there too, Dave. Those really go for something.
Well, it keeps me cool in the summer and warm in the winter.
Yeah. And he didn't even mention the glass he had to the right.
Oh,
but
yeah.
anyway,
I mean, all that's old shit, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, watch your mouth.
Hurricane.
We got kids in the chat.
Sorry.
Okay, so go on, Dave. Let's round this out and get the hell out of this episode.
All right. So Paul Gerard,
I love that.
And wine, gives it to Columbo, but Columbo does the switch. He switches out wine. And
I was hoping they would do it Three Stooges style or something, or Marx, like.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
And then he turns away, and then they switch it again.
Yeah.
But we don't.
But
anybody for some Trident gum? That flavor just really. Oh, look at that cinnamon! We are on the same boat. Look at that. How many sticks you got left? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
6.
Oh, okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It's like Christmas every day.
It's like Christmas every day. You start chewing on it, you get that scent, and it never goes away till you wake up the next morning. Anyways, okay. So the old switcheroo.
Columbo says, "Hey, I don't have any proof," and Paul Gerard goes, "That's too bad." And Columbo takes the glass and he downs it, and
Paul Gerard thinks he poisoned himself right there.
And Paul Gerard's just like, "I'm gonna wait 15, 20 seconds."
Yeah.
And then he reaches for his glass and he's all, "Oh, don't do that. I switched the glasses." And he's all, "Oh, I have my proof now." And basically, that's it. They start then having conversations where it's like, I appreciate you as a food critic, but I don't like you. And then it's like, I like you as a cop, and I wish you were a chef because you did make good scallopini and all of that. So. Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the end of the episode. He gets them. It was kind of a really cool ending, where cool seeing Columbo dress down and cook up a meal and kind of solve the crime. I thought that was kind of cool. But I tell you what, this is the episode to watch to get yourself hungry, because there's a lot of food, a lot of dessert, and makes you want to go to some of these fancy restaurants, pay an arm and a leg. Yeah. Do they take arms and legs still, Dave, at some of those restaurants?
At some of the restaurants out here, they'll actually take your firstborn.
Oh,
yeah. So
California. Boy. Well, I heard about it. Anyways. Okay, so there you go. What do we got coming up next week, Dave?
Hopefully something better than this.
Wait, let me see. After 47 thumbs up, and now we
47 ain't bad. I'll take that.
We got, after asking for more, we got 2 more. Wow. Okay. Anyways, Dave, go on. What do we got next week?
That's okay. Next week we have Scooby-Doo. We're going to
the podcast.
It is the podcast. We are going to revisit Scooby-Doo episodes 3 and 4. So I can't wait to see how they do. But 2 weeks from tonight, The X-Files.
Premiere.
Pilot episode, season 1, episode 1. I don't know what it's called. So.
Well, it's going to be, you don't know what it's called. It doesn't say.
Is there an echo in here?
Is there an echo in here? Oh, it just says pilot. That's okay.
All right. So I was right.
Yeah, no, you're right. You were right.
And then we have the Circle of
Fear.
Fear.
Then we have Circle of Fear.
And we're going to go back to an Art Bell Ghost to Ghost.
Ghost. There is an echo, Dave. Did you hear that? Feedback from the microphone. Made me hungry watching it, Dino. See, Lizzie, I told you. Yeah. Zoinks, Scoob! The podcast. Boom. I could make a jingle for that one. We'll see how the next one goes, and then maybe I'll premiere season or episode 3 with the jingle.
Well, considering that you haven't redone the main late horror show thing.
Welcome to the Dino and Dave show.
Only been doing this for 2 years.
Send us your jingles, everybody, to P.O. Box. Anyways, whatever.
He can't see color, but he's still pretty funny.
Oh my God. I'm going to come up with a jingle, Dave. It's going to be the craziest jingle ever. So welcome to anyways, I'm okay. Where you got to end this? Sorry, guys, people, women, men.
Don't be sorry.
Children, animals, pets, cats, dogs, whoever happens to be in the room.
Ciao.
I hope these episodes last more than 3 hours. Which ones? What are you talking about? What? OHAM? I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. These, what me and Dave are doing? We do it for an hour and a half.
Yeah, but you can go back to all the playlists.
Oh, yeah.
We're in the, I think this is like our 98th episode, 97th episode together. We've almost done 100 of these.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you. Listen, I know the Kolchak series has been fantastic, but it just depends what you're in the mood. God dang you.
I wanted gum now.
Okay, I got to bring out the cinnamon.
I also have Tic Tacs.
Oh, okay.
And Trident White.
Oh, Dave.
Yes.
I got Trident Spearmint. Unopened yet. That'll be after the cinnamon.
Nice.
Even through the plastic, you can smell the mint. Okay. Wow.
I still have some sour gum balls from the horror show.
You still got some sour gum balls, huh?
That Connie got such a kick out of.
Gatorade gum in 1986. Let's go. Oh no. I remember that. Oh yeah, man. That cinnamon hits you, man.
You know, one of my favorite ones that you sent me, though, that we didn't try on air because it was actually good, was in the cassette box. And they were like miniature cassettes. Those were so good candies because you just kept popping them. And they were so small and there were so many of them. It was fantastic. Thank you.
Nice. Oh, you're welcome. Okay. I have black jelly veins. What? Lizzie?
I think you mean beans, Lizzie.
Yeah, I think she means beans. Okay, Dave. With that said, any last words?